Now if you're happy and you know it's happy. Now if you're happy and you know it's happy. Now if you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy then you know it's happy. Now if you work like you own it, clap your hands. Now if you work like you own it, clap your hands. Now if you work like you own it, then your actions will surely show it. If you work like you own it, clap your hands. Alright, you know, go ahead and stand up. Just stand to your feet. Give yourself a round of applause. Hey, yeah, I tell everybody everywhere I go, when you wake up in the morning and your feet hit the floor, just start clapping your hands. People say, why do you want me to do that, Grace? One, you got to give God praise for waking up. But then second, Tony, that may be the only standing ovation you're going to get all night. So you got to appreciate yourself before anybody else. I want to thank Miss Norma Jean for having me and all of y'all for having me. You know, it's such a blessing every time God enables me to do my gift, and I'm so happy for that. But if you know me, this is not a presentation, it's more of a participation. That's why I need you guys to get up. I need your name tag, I need to see you, because we're going to have a little bit of fun for the next 20 minutes. And I'm really excited. I'm going to share some things with you that I believe that will help you, not only today, but other things in your life, milestones and other things like that you want to accomplish. We just did the exercise of clapping. Now I do a smiling exercise. Anybody see me speak before? I do a smiling exercise. So if you have a toothpick, go ahead and pick that right side of your teeth. Smile real big, show your 32s, your 22s, your 10s, whatever you got. Everybody look good. Okay, look at somebody in your left and right and say, what I do is a calling. It's not a choice. Say what I do is a calling. It's more than a career. Say what I do is a calling. It's who I am. Man, I love that. Give yourself a round. We understand that at the hospital or where you all are, that you're going through some changes and things like that, which falls right along with this book that I wrote. Look at your neighbor and say, get the book. Look at somebody and say, get the book. Get the book. I thought it was a punchline for me. But basically, like she said, I went to Morehouse and Clark University. And what you have is about 4 to 6 years of college, 20 years of experience in failing, and 10 years of entrepreneurship, another 10 years of direct sales and marketing. Didn't get it all right, but I recorded everything that I did so I could be here today. And I put all that in 100 pages. So you get all those 20 years of experience in less than 100 pages. Look at somebody and say, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. You can curb your learning experience with that. But first of all, what I want to do is I want to start out with a little story. There was a rich man in town, and he threw a party one day. And he had all of his friends and everybody in the neighborhood to come and witness his party. And as he was at the party, he said, you know what? If anybody can swim across my lake of alligators, then I'll give him $1 million. I gotta stop right there because I forgot to do something. Thank Miss Norma G. Thank you all. But I gotta thank one fine lady who has been with me for the last 15 years. And I love my wife so much. It's the bold, the audacious Christy Goodway. Can y'all give her a hand? I love her so much. You know, Vicky, when I met my wife, and she said, yeah, I'll marry you. And she said that, I want you to know you run the house. My ego got big, my back got straight. I even got a little pep in my walk. She told me you run the house. I felt good about that. She said, yes, you run the vacuum, you run the dishwasher. You run my breakfast in bed, you run that, and you run to the store when I tell you. And I will tell you, from that day to this day, I've been running the house ever since. And I'm running it today. So let me get back to the story, back at the ranch, okay? So the guy said, if you can swim across my lake of alligators, I'll give you $1 million. Before he could finish out his next sentence, he heard a splash splash in the water. And he looked across and there was this guy, this skinny guy, swimming across the water. He got bit on his left leg by an alligator, bit on his right arm by another alligator, got bit in the neck by another alligator, and everybody had their camera phones out, you know, trying to make another $1 million on their YouTube page. But they knew that this guy couldn't make it. But after 3/4 of the way, everybody said, wow, this guy might just make it. And when he got to the end, he got up out of the pool, and they had cameras and everybody running over and said, Mister, you know, we don't even want to know what your name is. We already know you're rich. You have $1 million because you swim across the lake of alligators. But we have one question for you. How did you muster up all the energy, all the strength, all the due diligence, if you will, to be able to get past all of those alligators and make it to the other side? And the young man just stood there dripping in blood and sweat, and he sat there, clothes all torn up. And he said, ma'am, there's really no need for all of that. But if you could just show me the gentleman or lady that pushed me in this place. Have you ever been pushed? Look at somebody and say, have you ever been pushed? Have you ever been put in a situation? It wasn't your fault, but regardless of whose fault it was, you were pushed in a situation. I look at myself, I was pushed in a situation when I was 20 years old, didn't like myself, grew up with low self-esteem, and at 21 years old, I sat in my dorm room and contemplated killing myself because I didn't like myself, because I was pushed. Have you ever been in a situation that didn't feel too comfortable, but regardless of whose fault it was, you were pushed? And some people in those situations, they either become the victim or they become the victor. But how you respond to the challenges of the situations in your life that may not be as comfortable, but you know that there's a purpose, there's a bigger calling, there's a bigger something on the other side past this moment that can push you and migrate you and navigate you to the place where you want to be. Because if anybody in this room right here is over 20 years old, you know that if there's anything worth having, it's definitely going to be a fight. Can I get a witness in the building? It's definitely going to be a fight. So in that fight, what I want to talk about are a couple of things that I believe that will help you as we move forward. Now, I love this right here. I love this right here. Anybody seen this right here? Anybody seen this right here? I love this right here. Work like what? Work like you own it. Work like you own it. And the reason why I love that is I ask everybody everywhere I go, who in here is self-employed? Raise your hand. All right. All right. 2 people. Let me see. Raise your hand. Now, I wanted to give everybody a book, and I'm going to tell you why. Because everybody in here is self-employed. Because guess what? You, and only you, can control your attitude. There's so many things we get caught up with in life that we want to control. But guess what? You can't control what gender you were born. You can't control the parents you have. You can't control the weather. Oh my God. Everybody wants to control the weather. You can't control traffic. There are very few things that you can control, but the one thing that you can control day in and day out is your attitude. Now, I did some research, and there's a friend of mine that wrote a book called Breaking the Spirit of Average. And in that book, he talked about the word attitude. Now, if you wrote the word attitude and placed a numerical number beside that letter in the alphabet, the letter A would be 1, and the letter T would be, oh, I got answers now. Y'all got answers. Don't be fronting me up there. I mean, the answer's right there. Okay, then. T, the other T is 20. Now, if you add all those up, the word attitude at the bottom equals 100. Now say, wow, we'll be backwards. Wow. I'm smart. I mean, you're smart. Okay, so that makes up 100%. That makes up 100. I tell people before I go, your attitude makes up 100% of your success or your failure. I did the word hard work. Hard work adds up to 98. Knowledge adds up to 96. So even though you have knowledge, and even though you add hard work, it's your attitude that puts the stamp on every single thing that you do. And it equals 100% of your success. Now, how do we maintain that good attitude? Number one, I like to say people. Everybody say people. People everywhere you want to go. You can't get away from them. You know, even if you wanted to get away from them, guess what? You still can't. They're everywhere you want to go, like Visa card. But watch this. The people in your life, you got to be careful because you have to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with positive people. Okay? Now we'll do another little exercise and see how this goes. Now, spell the word pop with me backwards. Well, you can spell it backwards too. Yeah, spell pop. 1, 2, 3. P-O-P. I know some of y'all can spell. Y'all trying to fuck me in here. Alright, now spell the word top. 1, 2, 3. T-O-P. Now spell the word stop. 1, 2, 3. S-T-O-P. Now what do you do with the green light? Stop. You know that green light. Got it. Okay. Now some people ain't say stop. Alright? Alright, yeah, somebody said stop. I know somebody said stop. So the reason why I do the exercise is this. You have to be careful who you surround yourself with because sometimes you can start to become negative and you're not even negative. You don't even know you're being negative. And so people in your life will either do one of 4 things. They will either add to your life, subtract from your life, multiply from your life, or what? Divide. Simple mathematics. Okay? How many of y'all know some negative people? Raise your hand. Alright? None of y'all that didn't raise your hand, you might be the ones I'm talking about. Alright? Negative people, they're like this. Okay, so what, 24 hours in a day, right? So for 8 hours, they complaining, right? For the other 8 hours, they just look like they complaining. And then they just sleep for the other 8. So, when you have negative people that you know about, it's your responsibility, my responsibility, our responsibility to keep the good attitude. Look at somebody and say attitude. Say I own that. And I'm going to make it good. Yes, give you something hand for that. So I'm going to make it good. When you have an attitude, your attitude, and you have a purpose, that's a pen right there. There's nothing special about that. I think some people ask me, well, you know, where did you get to be such a fireball like Miss Norman G? Well, I grew up in PK. My dad was a Baptist minister. And we was in church one night, and the pastor was preaching, and he said, hey, there was a lady and a man in about the 3rd or 4th grade. He said, hey, you just see him preaching, wake that man up. Yeah, that's why I was looking like that, like you look. But I was even more looking even bewildered with her response. She said, well, why don't you wake him up? You put him to sleep. I'm definitely not, I don't want to put you to sleep. So, purpose, and I'm going to go ahead and write this up like I'm ready. Okay, purpose. That pen has a purpose. And the purpose for that pen is to do what? Write. To write. Now that pen can be used for several things. That pen can be used as a pointer. It can be used, some people, as a earwax remover. I mean, not you, I'm just saying. It can be used for several things. But the purpose of that pen is to do what? It's to write. This chair. There's a song, Luther Vandross used to sing a song. He said, a chair is still a chair, even if no one is sitting there. That's what it is. So it's still a chair, right? Now this chair is used to do what? Sit. Now you can use this chair for several things. I could use it to prop up against the door for a brace, right? I can use it to prop my feet in if I've been working too long. Now if you're my height, which most of you guys are not, but at this point I probably look 6 foot to you, but when you're standing up, I'm still 6 foot. Now I can use this chair for a stepping stool, and I do. At home, to get something that I need to get. But this chair is most successful if it's doing what? If I'm doing what? Your life is the same way. There are a lot of things that you can do, but there are certain things that God created you to do. And no matter what you call yourself doing, you can never get away from that calling on the inside of you. How many of y'all woke up one morning, Ms. Norma, close your eyes. Mr. Morton, close your eyes. Because I know you're pillow talking at night. Okay. Close your eyes. Raise your hand if you had a day at work and you got off work and you said, you know what? I ain't never going back up in there. Miss No, I didn't see a lot of hands go up, but I heard a lot of that. So I think, like they say in church, if you can't say amen, just say, just make a noise or something. I heard a lot of noises. But let me say this. That's just keeping it real. We just keeping it real. But let me say this. Even though you said, I ain't never going back up in there again. I don't like that job. I don't like them people. Guess what? He came back. And you know why he came back? Because it's a calling. And when it's a calling, it's bigger than you. See, a calling is more than a career. It's not a choice. I truly believe that when it's a real calling, it calls you. And I love to see you guys here because it says that you answered the call. And not only that, but it's your purpose. What you do is bigger than a career. What you do is bigger than the check that you get because it's who you are. You know, just because you work at the hospital, you make the hospital what it is. You can't get away from healthcare. You can't get away from serving people because your heart is too big. Your heart loves to serve. That's what connected us here today. And even on those days when you feel like, I can't go back, it's your heart, it's your calling that continues to pull you back. That's why when you're at a baseball game, a football game, a soccer game, and somebody gets hurt, they say, is it a medical person on duty, on site? That's why when Uncle Ricky, Uncle Bug, Uncle Junebug, Aunt Sarah, Aunt Denise, anybody get hurt outside the yard, they say, hey, how do you pronounce that? They out in the yard playing, somebody get hurt. They say, call the Demetrius. I don't know what you do at the hospital. Or they say, call Melissa. Yeah, and that's what it is. Look, you might not even be a nurse. But just because you work in the hospital, they say, call Aunt so-and-so. Because you work at a place of healthcare. So who makes healthcare? We make healthcare. And you don't represent your job while you're on the job. You represent the job everywhere you step foot. Because the job is not the technology, it's not the medicine, it's not the beds, it's not the television. The job, how it works and how it functions, it sits right in this room. And you may say, well, Pace, how do I know if I'm in my purpose? I went through so many things in my life, I don't know how it relates to my purpose. Man, when I was in my 20s, I moved 13 times in 8 years. I was homeless 2 different times when trying to build my dream. Broke my leg and I had to learn how to walk all over again. Actually, when I was in the hospital at the age of 20, because I had the kidney transplant, and I had to learn to do everything all over again. I had so many bad days, I had to take over 20 different pills to get my kidneys to not reject itself. And every morning at 5:15, they would come in and do my blood. And the lady would come in and say, good morning, sunshine. And I'd be thinking, nothing sunshine about this life. I hate this life. I hate this medicine. But what I didn't understand then is all that was doing was preparing me for today. All that was doing was preparing me to be able to relate to somebody else other than myself. So you ask yourself, well, you may even ask God, why do I go through this, and that? Why not you? Because you represent somebody else bigger than yourself. So you want to know how you can relate? You relate by the experiences that you've went through. And all of those experiences has predestined you for a moment and a time and a place such as this. I want to leave you with this quote. It's by Ernest J. Gaines, and then it was affiliated by another man. He said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state to look after me. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It is my heritage to stand erect, proud, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. I know you're in the right place, with the right leadership, with the right company. And I'm encouraging you to continue to work like you own it. Give yourself a hand.